I remember feeling like analytics was being invented and starting to pop up in like different departments of the company and these things.
And that gave business the ability to, well, crunch data and be able to, collect information about customers that we probably never had sight of before, and make inferences and predictions about the future, which obviously, if done in the right way, can create commercial value. So I think, statistics was the boom, but, despite that, we were still in a world where not huge volumes of data were being collected. And so, paradigms like hypothesis testing and how you sample in order to, make inferences with the right amount of confidence, the statistics was still very much needed, because it was expensive to store and capture, vast amounts of information and be able to stitch it together in the right way that, you could start basing a model off. So, I think at that point, statistics was still very much needed. You skip ahead to the sort of mid-noughties, Yahoo had open sourced Hadoop, and suddenly storage in particular was becoming considerably cheaper. And we started to see the emergence of technology like Hadoop, and then companies like Cloudera and Hortonworks that would package up all of that open source ecosystem and try and sell it as a service to business. I think that really started the phrasing of big data, right? So this was sort of a step change in, well, now actually we're able to capture data on a much bigger scale. We're able to do it a lot more cost effectively. And because we've got much more of it, more classical statistical paradigms like how do I over undersample weren't necessarily a concern anymore. We had data. The problem then became, how can we leverage this all in an efficient way? And then, of course, obviously that gave rise to concepts like MapReduce and parallelization of compute, so that we could run big jobs at scale concurrently. And that's really
let me pause you. No one knows what that means. We are bringing simple data science to our audience. So you mentioned something called MapReduce. Would you be able to explain why it exists and what is really happening there?
I want to do 10 things at once that are all really computationally demanding. So how do I do that? I can't do that on my personal computer at home.